Hey there, this is Malorian, and this will be 3 different War Machine battle reports, all at 50 points, and I'm going to be trying out some new lists here. So I've been playing Kane 2 probably way too much, and so I need to start getting more practice with these, with something else that's not pew pew, shoot shoot, although to be fair, some of it's pew pew, shoot shoot. Anyway, one of my lists here is going to be eHaley 2. She's going to be running a Lancer and the Squire. I then also have 2 units of press gangers, a unit of commandos, the Stormblades. I have Gorman, I have Stormcaller, I have Hawk, I have Anastasia, then I have Alexia and Arisen, and Forge Guard. The other list there is going to be Siege. He is going to be running a Stormwall and a Squire. There's going to be 2 units of Gun Mages, one with UA. There's going to be the Black 13th. There's going to be the Blazers. And that's pretty much it. Oh, Reinhold as well, of course. Now, this first mission here, it's going to be a different one. It's going to be first to 5, no kill box. You get 1 point for scoring on a flag on the side, 1 for destroying the enemy objective, and then 1 for the zone, 2 to dominate. Now, this has a lot of ways to score. So, looking at that, I was already kind of leaning towards my eHaley list. But my opponent, he's running Mercenaries. He had a Durgan list with an Earthbreaker, and he also has this one here, which is going to be Fiona running a Galleon. Now, whereas I knew the Siege list could really shoot down all the troops from either one, I didn't really feel very good on how I'd be able to deal with the actual Colossal, be it the Galleon or the Earthbreaker. So I didn't want to really go with that. So what I'm trying to do here is go with the Horde, go in there, swarm them, and trying to find the best place to score. So on his side, he is going to be running Fiona, like I said, with the Galleon and the Nomad. There's going to be the Kayazi Assassins with UA, Kayazi Eliminators. He'll have his own Gorman and Ragman and Epic Iris, and then the Nis Hunters. So, of course, with her feat, I'm -1 dice to damage and to hit, so it really works well with his defense skew and his armor skew. So I get first turn, so I just basically run up and then do deceleration, just because why not? And then as well, TK up a few things as well, just to get them closer. For example, Gorman. On his turn, I usually hope that people will fall into like, wow, look at all these targets, let's shoot them. But my opponent does not fall for that. He runs up the Nis, he runs up the Kayazi, he runs the Galleon into the zone, and then he also takes a shot at the Lass with Iris and kills her. Now, one of the huge problems I'm going to have here is, first of all, the Assassins, right? The Eliminators and the regular Kayazi can just charge through my lines, get the eHaley, and kill me. So that is horrendously bad. The other big, huge threat I got to deal with is that he has a spell so that one of his units can just ignore intervening models when making his attacks. So really, his Galleon can see through my sea of dudes and shoot straight at eHaley. So that's also a huge problem. So that's going to be having me a little bit worried. When I was looking at this, one of the things I could do is I could be doing my time bomb, I could be throwing my grenades with my commandos, but his feat is up. So even if I do my grenades, I need to get a 6 or something like that. And so I don't know if it'll really be worth it. Even the time bombs, time bombs go down to strength 7. Then I'm only going to roll 1 dice. So I actually have to roll really well and invest a lot of focus probably to try and kill 1, maybe 2 models. So really, I don't think I can kill any of his guys this next turn. So with that in mind, I really just go for gumming him up. So I don't think I attack a single model other than the last that was left from the left press gangers, who goes and kisses 1 eliminator and sends her off. Otherwise, this is going to be my feat turn, so really trying to lock him in place. That's why I'm not engaging the Kayazi at all. Meanwhile, on the right, I could not. I have 2 choices. Either I could not engage them, and then they'll shoot me, or I could engage them, and then if I do that, I at least reduce it a little bit. So I decided to go for that option. I'm not sure if it's the right one, but that's what I did. And of course, trying to tie up things like Epic Iris as well. So on his turn, he has a few surprises for me. By the way, Gorman did blind his Galleon, so that is going to take away that threat there. But on the right, or let's start the left side, his Kayazi basically just get back into my face. His Nomad, I didn't really look at this correctly, was able to get up to a spot where he's in reach of Gorman, and although he couldn't attack, Gorman's now engaged, so I'm going to need to try and make sure I deal with that later on. Otherwise, his Nisco are able to kill off a few guys, and that's really it. So what I really need to do is clear out one of these flags or something, because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to clear out the zone, and deal with that. One of the real problems I had this turn, though, is that this is one of the turns I start going on tilt. And I, looking back on this, I almost never do this, but that's what happened here. I was still really freaked out that my whole Gorman ploy would not work, and so I'd be shot by Galleon. So eHaley, for the most part, stays back in camps, because I am just really worried that something really bad is going to happen. I did go do a dominate that's going to be making the Nomad go back and take a swipe at Fiona. It's going to miss, but did that. On the left side, I'm trying to make a lot of attacks with all my press gangers. Nothing's really coming up. I think I'm going to kill a guy. Hawk goes up and tries to kill the underboss, but fails to hit. Meanwhile, on the right side, I actually get some pretty good work done where I'm able to kill off 4 of the Nis. So that's actually looking really good. Looking back on this now, if I would have seen how well that went, I could have focused more on the right with time bombs and things, and actually started really putting some pressure on that flag. But one of the things my opponent asked me is, hey, man, do you want to take pictures during my turn? And I said, no, or like during while it's paused. And I said, no, I never kill box or time death clock myself. There you go. I never death clock myself. And so here I am, filled with pride. And then also on this turn, I'm like, wow, my turns are actually taking a long time as I'm putting a lot of thought and worry into things. So, yeah, I am starting now trying to we're making some mistakes as I'm trying to go faster. One of the good things that did happen is that the Stormcaller was able to zap down one Eliminator. So there's one down. But otherwise, yeah, that's really all I got. So on his turn, he's having the grind come back because I did not fill in that space between Gorman and the Nomad with Risen or something. That Nomad is able to come over and kill Gorman. So that was just really bad placement on my part, not doing anything there to counter that. That was really pretty foolish. Otherwise, he's starting to grind away, kill off my guys, because, hey, my guys aren't defense like 17. I don't need 10s to hit. So, otherwise, he starts to really grind things down, and now I'm really starting to get worried. So, now is where I'm starting to make my play on the Galleon. So, first of all, I forget to raise up all my Risen. I could have raised up like 7 Risen this turn, and I just forgot. Because, again, I'm a little bit on tilt. Because I'm just like, oh my god, I'm going to deathlock myself, and it's going to be embarrassing. So instead, I decide, just to not raise any Risen. So anyway, I kind of clear away, try to make some attacks on either flank. But, I mean, with me needing 10s or 8s to hit, it's just not happening now. Meanwhile, the Lancer, I give some focus, so he's able to stab down a couple of guys. I really need to get that Nomad out of the way, so I go up and I have to dominate him again, and he goes back and he kills Gorman. So that was nice. Otherwise, let's see, he was able to kill my Stormcaller last turn, so that guy's gone. Forge Guard, charge into the Galleon, take out like half its boxes, so that's pretty good. However, I'm still not really getting any points, and by now, I needed to be in a spot where I was starting to score. And then on his turn, he puts back on the spell. He had been letting some things drop because of how I get Alexia within 9 inches of Fiona, so everything was costing double. But he puts some focus up onto the Galleon, makes it so it can see through models. It kills the Squire, puts a little splash damage on eHaley, and then the Assassins charge in, and that's it for eHaley. So, really, the biggest thing that came from this, and the reason why I love doing these battle reports so I can do this self-analysis, is just realizing how affected I was by having my plan fail and by losing my pride or having my pride threatened with the death clock. I'm always one of these guys who's really fast. I say never worry about the clock, and I don't really care about pride things. But all of a sudden in this one, I started making some serious mistakes. And if I was thinking a little bit more clearly, I would have focused more on the right flag. I would have made sure to start, after a couple of TKs to get things where I want them and some time bombs and stuff, I could have cleared out that right flag. And really, if I would have played Gorman correctly and safely, I could have black oiled that galleon every single turn and been completely safe. So it's really just on me. And but either way, Tom here, my opponent is a great guy, great looking army, and it just means I need to have a rematch against the guy. But the other thing there too is just knowing as well that the whole point of this list is jam, 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 and get the win. And the fact when that failed, when Plan A failed, and I couldn't just jam and get the scenario win, I did not move into that Plan B. I just started panicking. And I think a big part there too is a fact where I've been playing Kane 2 way too much, and I just need to play these other lists more so I can get that being as comfortable with these as well. So either way, I take a loss, but I got a couple more games. So now I'm going to be pulling out Siege. This will be my first game with him, and hopefully he's everything the internet says he is. On the other side, I'm going to be facing Zal. This is going to be, I believe, I was at tier 4 Zal. So really, when we were looking at this, he had a Zal list, he had a Xerxes list, and because I have to deal with Void Spirits and stuff, I just wanted to make sure that I actually had magic shooting on the board. Plus, Siege can deal with any of these Citrati, medium base models. So that's really shouldn't be a real issue. And gun mages can shoot down some of these things. All right, so this mission now is going to be this one here. It's going to be first to 5, no kill box, 1 for controlling a zone, 2 for dominating. I've already covered what I have in my list, but now what he's having on his side is he's going to be having his Annihilators there on the left. He has a Citrati with this unit attachment. Zal is going to be running the Despoiler and a Gladiator and that Cyclops Raider, I believe it's called. He has his Pain Givers. He has Adaptus Maketh. He has an Agonizer. And also a Will Breaker in this list. And really what my plans are is just shoot them down. These Annihilators, I have so much shooting. I'm sure they're not going to make it in. Then hopefully I can start shooting down a beast or so before that's a real threat. And then meanwhile, when I need to, when it gets in and close, pop that feat and then wipe out those Citrati. So I get first turn, and I'm really just running up with everything. Then he goes up. I believe he puts Hollow onto, or he wants to put Hollow onto the Citrati, but that UA actually makes them spell ward or something, so they can't actually have it there. But either way, he really is just dumping Fury into the Agonizer and moving on up. So looking at this here, I definitely need to kill off those Annihilators, and I think I'm going to start working on that Gladiator there. So that's what I do. I move up the Rangers, put a couple of focus up onto the Storm wall there, and then I start going at that Gladiator, and it was crazy. I was getting some really awesome rolls, so that not only did I kill the Gladiator, but I did that before I got to even the Stormwall's activation, and the Stormwall was already able to do some pretty good damage to the Despoiler as well. So that was way better than it was supposed to be. Also put up a pod there and shot it, and have all that cover fire and things up there. Annihilators were all killed, so yeah, wow, pretty impressive shooting. So on his turn, he's going to be getting up there. He knows he has to worry about the zones, so the Citrati are really just running in to be kind of slowing things down, and as well getting his models into the right zone. His Raider is able to kill off one of my Blazers. The Spoiler runs up. He does an Essence Blast to, I believe he had 1 Annihilator left, and so that's able to kill a Gun Mage. But otherwise, I believe he kills a Ranger. Does he? Yeah, he killed 1 Ranger somewhere with something, and really that's it. So on my turn, you can tell this is Feat turn, and things died. So really what happened there is I needed that Despoiler dead, so I popped that Feat. I shoot him. Actually, I had to take a free strike first, so that lets him kill the guy, make a Void Spirit, and then I start shooting this guy up. And that Despoiler did not last long. Then I also did a Rift in order to kill the guy that was there. I was also hoping to clear out that zone so I could get my first point on the left side, but I was not able, because this is his feet as well, so everything's +3 defense, so I was not able to kill that guy in the back there. I did a ground and pounder to them, but was not able to get that done. Otherwise, on the right side, thanks to the feet and, again, some pretty good dice, I'm able to kill off everything that's in the zone. Stormwall is able to go up. He kills 3 guys. It's like dice +12. And then otherwise, yeah, I killed the UA, everything else in the zone. So I'm going to score 1 point. So on his turn, he's going to try and run up and do some Essence Blasts. And this was hilarious. Do you remember back before when the Satrati were running up? Well, there was one silly ranger up there, and he's like, yeah, take your free strike. And each time I'm like, bam, 2 points, bam, 3 points, bam, 4 points. Well, he has this one last Satrati left that's going to try and run through to be in a good spot. Takes a free strike, and I do the remaining like 4 boxes or whatever to kill him. So these rangers have been like combat monsters. Don't mess with them. So otherwise, he runs up a couple of pain givers to try and do some essence blasts and shooting and stuff like that. But his dice do not go his way. He does like 3 damage to me. And now I'm going to start scoring again, and he's basically dead. So, yeah, that's really going to be this game. I believe I just score on both zones, actually, this turn. And, I mean, next turn, either I could have killed him because he's standing right there, or I could have just done nothing and won by scenario. But, yeah, this Siege, I don't know why I haven't tried him before. He's great. And that feat is pretty amazing. So, we're going to be on the same board here, same mission. I got the same side. And now I'm going to be up against Thagrosh 2. So Thagrosh 2 is going to be running 2 Carnivians and a Typhon. He is going to be having the War Spears with the Chieftain on the, or War Chief, whatever, on the left. He's going to have the Min unit of War Spears on the right, and they're going to have their UA. Otherwise, he has a Shepherd, and I believe that's the whole force. His other list was, man, what even was it? I can't even remember what it was. But I decided to go Siege again because it seemed like the right choice. So again, I'm planning for him to come in. And again, once I try and shoot down 1 beast, when he gets close, feat and take off these medium bases. And it should be pretty good. All right, so I get first turn again. It seems like I always get first turn. Either I win it or it's given to me. And again, I have no upkeeps I need to get out, anything like that. I'm just running up. On his turn, same thing. He's going to be pretty much running / charging up because, of course, he wants to get out spiky growths and things like that. He gets Draconic Blessing or Blood, whatever it is, on the War Spears, or what is it? The Warmongers, I believe they're called, on the left. The guys with the glaives. I don't know. I don't see them very often. But really, he's put himself in this position here. And I'm planning to try and make it a lot like the last game, where I'm going to try and kill that right Carnivian, and then try and do whatever shooting I can to his Warmongers on the left. So my dice don't quite go my way. By the way, his prey is going to be my Rangers. And, I mean, mainly that's because his armor is 2 higher, because he has this spiky growth on. But what it comes down to is that after some of my shots, and again, this is above average, he was down to like 4 boxes or something. So I try moving up some of the gun mages to try and get lucky with some Crypt Brutals. Does not happen. And then I had this real temptation of like, well, I could always go up a Siege and kill him. But I could not risk that because I'd have to go to the other side of the wall. So I'm going to have to let that Carnivian live, unfortunately. And so instead, with his shots, he goes over and kills 2 of the Warmongers on the left. The other gun mages do a little bit of plinking damage to the guys there on the far left. And that's really it. So not quite as good as I'd hoped, but still can't really complain. So on his turn, this is where I'm going to feel the wrath and why I should have killed that Carnivian if I could, although I couldn't have. He goes up and he charges the Black 13th, and he's going to kill off all of them. So, of course, he healed them first with the Shepherd. Meanwhile, those War Spears try and go after my horse on the other side of the wall, and they all fail. So really great to have kept them there. Just lose 1 horse to do that. Way worth it. Then the sprays come in, and he's able to kill off tons of those Rangers. Some of the gun mages, and also get some damage onto Stormwall as well. I believe he's done like 8 damage so far or something like that. Otherwise, the Warmongers run on the left, and this is the reason why I stayed out of the zone. He's going to be getting a point here for controlling the left zone, but he's only was able to engage one of my gun mages. So that's great. Now I can actually shoot these guys, as opposed to if I would have moved up, he would have just engaged all my guys, and they don't have gunfighter like they do with Kane 2. So on my turn here, I had to say I was really eyeing assassination. He was only camping one. I could have gone over and slammed basically with my spell his Carnivian into Typhon and then try and shoot down Thegrosh. But Thegrosh's armor is really solid, and especially with like 13th and stuff gone, I decided to go for attrition instead. So it starts off kind of bad. I go up with the Rangers. One has to take a free strike. The other one's marking my targets here. And then what happens is I get my 2 shots with Siege after the feat, and I miss both shots on Typhon. So that was a really bad way to start it. But then it started going a lot better. I was able to go up with the Blazers, and they kill the Carnivian that was over here and start doing some pretty good damage to the Typhon. Then what I was able to do is, with all the gun mages on the left, they go and they're able to kill off all those warmongers and the solo there as well. So again, I mean, when you're half armor, even gun mages are really, really deadly. I believe it was dice +1. So yeah, that was definitely a problem for them. So they all got wiped out. Otherwise, at that point, I had a Typhon left that I wanted to deal with. And so what I did is I used the other gun mages to push the Carnivian back and out of the zone, so it's not much of a threat. Then the Stormwall went to try and shoot down the Typhon there, aiming, and the first shot was able to finish him off, so that was great. I was able to boost a shot into the Shepherd then, kill it, and I'm looking great, because now I've just scored 2 points, so it's 2 points to 1, and he's pretty far back as well. So on his turn, he's going to say, screw it, I'm pretty sure I lost anyway. So Thegrosh is going to charge into the Stormwall, and he's going to scrap it. That's the thing. When you got a Warcaster with POW 18 and that much focus, he can get the job done. So he destroys the Stormwall. The War Spears come over to kill the last Ranger, and then change the prey over to the Blazers and kill one of my guys, but they don't get into the zone. And so that was kind of a problem for him. The Carnivian comes up. He kills off a couple of gun mages. And also I was able to spray down Reinhold, but now I'm going to score in the right zone again, and it's going to be 3-1, and I'm pretty sure I can just win this one now. So all I do is just shoot out the guy from the zone here, with my little push shots. Siege runs into the zone, and there you go. I'm going to win off scenario. So really, really liking this Siege. For a while, I thought taking Kane 2 out of my bag and putting him on the shelf was really, really going to hurt me. But man, this Siege guy is pretty awesome, and I'm going to have to get a lot of work done with him, a lot more practice. Of course, I'll have to practice up eHaley too as well. But thanks for watching. As always, if you have any changes you'd make to my list, or if there's any plays that you would have done differently, please let me know. I'm sure there's lots of things you'd like to do differently in that eHaley 2 game. But thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye.